was a lot of the Biden Harris policies that were in that were hurting me as a person. So
Give me
I
one.
was
Give me
vote.
one of. Give me something that you were like, my life was awesome on Monday, and then Tuesday, these mugs just tore it up.
Okay. Did you lose your job because you refused to get the injection?
That's a corporate policy, not a government policy.
Right. But go ahead,
It was a
continue.
policy endorsed by the government, and agencies were doing it because Biden was pushing it. Look, we all know that it's been ruled unconstitutional to fire somebody because they refuse to get the jab,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yep.
And I think
But
that's oh sorry.
That's fair.
but
No, that's a
people
good
I
point.
were
think that's fair.
losing their jobs, and that was a Biden policy.
But did you lose your job?
Did you lose your job? I asked you.
I didn't lose my job.
Okay.
There's a conversation to be had.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
What's going on, Charlo?
Welcome, folks. We're at the Conversation to Be Had podcast, and we got another conversation for you today. But before we go into it, I want to wish everybody a happy new year and just talk to you about what's been going on with this country a little bit. We got to stop as a people accepting certain stuff from our governments. I mean, nothing's going to change unless we do that. You know what I mean? We got to stop taking everything, for their word and make them, earn our trust. I mean, they tell you there's no Epstein files, and then they tell you there's 1.7 million that they haven't even released. But basically, like, we let people who don't know anything about going grocery shopping or, paying a bill tell you about affordability. You got to stop that. If we don't stop that, we're not going to be able to change anything. Today, we're going to get into the Epstein files. Sean, as you know, last podcast was a firecracker with the whole conspiracy theory. But, I mean, I don't think I came at it from a conspiracy theory point of view. I just don't believe the government when they say stuff. And, I mean, I feel like that I have a right to not believe them because they lie to us so much.
Absolutely. You got it right, man. And, I think one of the biggest problems with America today is that we don't question everything. We take things at face value nowadays from our politicians and everything like that. We've also forgotten the fact that they work for us. We don't work for them. So I think that, it's getting harder, sifting through the lies and everything like that. But it's not impossible. People just have to do a little bit of the work and do a little bit of digging, and you can, find the truth and come to a better opinion rather than just taking what these people are saying at face value. So I agree with you 100%, brother. 100%.
Well, we got a firestorm here today. We got the Epstein files. We're going to bring the panel in and we'll discuss it. What's up, guys?
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a good New Year.
Oh, yeah. Nice balmy 90 degrees down here in San Antonio.
Well, I actually did the dumb thing and came to Chicago for Christmas and New Year's, and it's been freezing. Freezing balls. That's all I got to say.
You got soft.
I don't think it's been over 25 degrees.
You got soft. Living out in Florida.
Come on. All right, guys, we're going to talk about Epstein today. And, I'm sure, unless you've been living under a rock, for the past, 10 years, you've heard something about Epstein. We were told that there were no Epstein files by Pam Bondi, and then all of a sudden, we had to go to court to get certain files released. They were supposed to release everything by the 19th of December, was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
The 19th of December. That didn't happen. We're basically getting a drip of information with these Epstein files. I've been told there's like 1 point something million more files that just came up that they're going to release. So
I'm
Bro,
showing 5.2
5.2.
million pages.
Yeah,
okay, that's even more. It changes every day, but
Yeah.
there was supposed to be none. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, the blatant lies. I'm just tired of just being lied to. Like, I don't even need you to talk to me anymore.
My man, at one point, Kash Patel said there is no evidence that Epstein ever trafficked young girls to anyone. None. There's no clients. There were absolutely no clients. It was just him. And he said this under sworn testimony in front of the entire American public, and then months later released numerous files, thousands and thousands of files, all while claiming that the Democrats are all over the files that also don't have any clients in them. It just...
Yeah. Now, Republican Representative Thomas Massey, he said, today the DOJ claims the Epstein file exceeds 1.7 million documents, and they still expect you to believe that this only involves 2 guilty people.
Yep.
And that's from a Republican, representative. And I mean, he's telling the truth. I just don't understand why, like, the everyday common sense person accepts that. So what I want to start off with the opening question is, do you believe there is a cover-up, with the Epstein files? We'll start with you, Rashawn. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes, absolutely. I feel like the Epstein files would more than likely implicate, some of the richest, most powerful people in this country, Democrat or Republican. I honestly don't believe that we'll ever get to the bottom of it, simply for that fact. So I think that the cover-up goes far beyond just the President of the United States, Congress, the Senate, and all that. I think it goes to the people that actually handle and fund those people that are in power. In those seats. So I don't think, that this is something that we'll ever get to the bottom of. It'll forever be, waved in front of our faces, but we'll never really know just how far and how deep the Epstein and his activities, reach, because there's going to be too many rich and powerful people that's going to be on that list. So yeah, cover up, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Agreed. Adam, what do you think?
100%. I mean, it's almost blatant at this point to deny that there's a cover up. I feel like you have to just have the extreme cognitive dissonance to where you're just denying reality in every single aspect of reality, because every step of the way they have lied. Every single chance they've had to come forward, they've lied. Even Bill Clinton had his spokesman come out and straight out say, release all the Epstein files, knowing damn well he's in them as well. It's just like the whole argument of like, oh, well, Bill Clinton. Oh, no, I'm going to have to throw away my Bill Clinton hat because, Bill Clinton's in there. I don't give a shit. And neither does he. He's even sent out his spokesman to tell them to release them. And then have y'all heard the hot mic of Trump screaming about don't release the files, Marjorie Greene Taylor, start an effing war if you have to?
I haven't heard about that one.
Yeah, that one.
I heard that him and Marjorie Greene Taylor.
Right?
They were stupid.
Yeah, here, let me see if I can.
Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down.
And then later.
I feel great. I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something. Not really.
And so it's just, how much more do we need, like, at this point? And they've run that through all of the algorithms and all of the different tests to see if it's AI, and every one of them came back as authentic. This is not AI. This is authentic recording. And so at this point, it's like it's impossible to deny it.
Wow,
Okay.
that's new to me. I didn't know anything about that. I had no idea.
Hey, Sus, what you got for us, man? You think it's a cover up when it
Of
comes to
course,
these
it's a
Epstein
cover
files?
up. That's like saying, does Tuesday come after Monday? Like, yes, it's a cover up. I also don't think Epstein himself is dead. So,
Really?
yeah. Like, did anybody ever see him dead?
No.
They lost the tape.
When was
This
his
guy-
funeral?
This guy was the most powerful dude, most influential guy and all this, and all of a sudden he just dies with no one seeing it. Like, I don't know. We could table that, but I'm just saying that's how freaking far I think this goes. As for Donald Trump, I did hear him say something like, if my friends are going to be in trouble if these files get out or whatever.
He said it to Marjorie Taylor. Yeah.
And my whole thing is, every person that lied about covering them up, whether they themselves are in the files or not, should be either relieved of duty or prosecuted for lying. And I think Donald Trump should be like, the fact that we are this far with all the things this guy has done, and we are doing nothing. We just talk about it. All it is just theater for us. No one is like, hey, we finna go and make change happen. We're like, let's just wait till 2028 and hopefully we can vote him out and be nice. Do you think he's being nice to people? This dude is a freaking monster. Yep. The Epstein files is definitely a real thing. You can't traffic people to no one. That's not how that works.
Exactly.
I can't take a kid around the block and be back at my house and be like, yo, I was trafficking.
And it can't just be two people.
This is the most ridiculous thing ever. And to the earlier point about Clinton, I don't even care if Obama's in there. I don't care who is in there. If you mess with kids, that's a wrap. The fact that we're still entertaining this dude as the commander-in-chief is insane. Anyway.
Okay. All right, Mark.
Ridiculous.
What you got to say?
Like, Obama, Clinton, all these powerful people all know about this. We all know this. We all know that the government is protecting itself. The question is how do we fix it? Like, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It doesn't matter who they are. How do we fix it? And in a way, I agree with Jose. Like, vote them all out. Let's start fresh. New government. Let's make sure they know that if they don't comply with the American people, their history. We can't, like, for example, Rashawn and I have had this discussion before. If the Democrats had anything that definitively proved Trump was involved, they would have brought that crap up. If Trump had something to definitively prove a Democrat did it, he would have brought it up. Why isn't it being brought up?
Because they're both
all involved. Everybody's involved. If you are in Congress today, you're involved. If you have been in Congress for the last 10 years, you're involved. Like,
okay,
they're all involved. They're hiding politicians. Here's a perfect example from my state, right? Massachusetts. Right? Only the governor's office and the state legislature are not open to audit. They are not required to meet the public speaking laws. Why do those people protect themselves? Because they don't want people to know what the hell they're doing. Why is it that a member of Congress can get sued for sexual harassment and American taxpayer dollars pay a settlement and it's kept private? And this has been going on for decades. It's not new.
Right. But
like, why does this happen?
Well, like with the question I asked you, if you're going to try to put an end to it and, kind of cut into it a little bit, I mean, do you, like, you guys support Trump? Well, not you guys. Maybe you, Mark. You support Trump, right?
I support his policies.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys try to separate the policies and the actions from the man.
That's like saying
And
I
it's,
listen
and
to
it's
R.
all the
Kelly's
same.
music, but I don't listen to R. Kelly. Like all that music's about underage girls.
Yeah, that's an example. You know, it's like
All right.
you're trying to
So
separate yourself, like you're trying to separate like the politics from the man when they're all the same person.
And at the end of the day, his policies are based on his morals. His
Yeah, he's
policies
a
are
moral
based on
cornball.
his character.
absolutely not.
That's why
Absolutely
you
not.
have when you have like moderate.
People who support 2A, people can support 2A but not support murder. People can support legal immigration but not support illegal immigration.
Correct, but you can't support a
Right?
pedophile without supporting pedophilia.
Right, exactly.
Like you can't support a racist
I think
without
that's the
supporting
problem.
racism.
I
You
think
can't
that's a lot of
support
the problem, bro.
you can't support xenophobia policies without supporting xenophobia. Like
Right.
we're bringing in immigrants from South Africa because he decided that they were being persecuted, but then he's denying the stay of Afghani soldiers who fought with our soldiers against the Taliban.
So
It's
I
one's brown
disagree
and one's
with
white.
his decision on that, though. Right? So when you vote for a president, like you don't have a line item veto, right? Like
100%. If they don't
you're
support Gaza, I don't vote for them.
you have to support somebody that's gonna be as close to what you want as possible.
What was on the front of the campaign bus that made you go, I'm going to vote for this dude? What was the thing that made you go, you know what? The first 4 years, he was so freaking awesome. He did the crazy thing January 6th. He's been nothing but a nuisance the whole 4 years of Biden, which, by the way, Biden was trash. He comes back. What was on the front of that bus that made you go, you know what? This is my guy. Or, and let's just call a spade, was it the fact that his opponent was a woman or black or whatever race she decided to be that day? It wasn't white. That we do know. Like, what was the thing? Because I'm really tired of Trumpers trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I really stood with this one policy. And then when we tell them how crappy that policy was, they quickly switch. So what was the campaign bus for you where you were like, this is the thing?
So there's two different campaigns. So I'm gonna separate them, okay?
Two different campaigns. You're talking about one dude.
Nope. Two different campaigns.
Are you talking about two different
Now
people?
explain what. No, let me explain.
All right, go ahead.
All right. In 2016, I was on the fence between Hillary and Trump. The reason I voted for Trump was some of the things that Hillary was saying just didn't jive with me. I didn't know that Trump would be good or bad, but I knew that Hillary wasn't my person. What made me vote for him in 2024 was a lot of the Biden Harris policies that were hurting me as a person. So
Give me
I
one.
was
Give me
voting.
one of. Give me something that you were like, my life was awesome on Monday, and then Tuesday, these mugs just tore it up.
Okay. Did you lose your job because you refused to get the injection?
That's a corporate policy, not a government policy.
Right. But go ahead,
It
continue.
was a policy endorsed by the government, and agencies were doing it because Biden was pushing it. Look, we all know that it's been ruled unconstitutional to fire somebody because they refuse to get the jab,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yep.
And I think
But
that's oh sorry.
That's fair.
but
No, that's a
people
good
I
were
think that's fair.
losing their jobs, and that was a Biden policy.
But did you lose your job?
Did you lose your job? I asked you.
I didn't lose my job.
Okay. But I get the point, though. It is a fair point. I get the point. I can also
because at my
do
job,
many.
my boss was forced by his boss to get the jab, but he said, I ain't forcing my people to do that.
God forbid they get life-saving care that's been studied for decades and found safe and efficient to prevent major illnesses.
I for sure will disagree with you on that point, but that's
All right.
that's besides this.
That's all.
Okay,
I don't rock with the jab.
so like I've never gotten the flu shot in my life, except for once. I had a government contract I had to fulfill, and it was required. That year was the only time I ever got the flu.
No, I totally get your point. I need you to continue
Like,
with Trump's
so-
campaign. What made you
so-
vote?
We vote for the least evil in our own opinion. We don't vote for the person.
You
We
saying
vote for
Trump was
the
the less
least
evil? The least evil?
From Kamala
between-
Harris?
Yeah. In my
Like,
opinion.
Like
See,
what
hold-
policies of Kamala
So-
Harris were going to be evil? Was it like the $10,000 down payment for homes, or is it like the surging money to the border to help border
So
patrol agents? Like what policy of Kamala's was more evil
So if
than
you're
cutting off U.S. aid to hundreds of thousands of starving children around the world? Like,
I think he's got a valid point, though. And it's an interesting one because it's really sad, and it's just a microcosm of the country. You're voting for the lesser of two evils. That is a sad state to be in. But now the vote is over. You voted for the lesser of two evils. And it turns out you actually voted for the worse. So now to defend him and continually defend him, that's where we go, well, what was it? What was the policy? Because you're the one who said the policy. So what was the policy that made you go, or was it
I
simply
don't
lesser of
want
two
illegal
evils?
immigrants in the country.
Immigration.
You're an
was-
immigrant. Oh, that's the crazy thing. You are. I am. Actually, I probably have the most native blood on this whole panel.
yeah,
But nonetheless, you are an immigrant.
Well,
At some point,
the
your
hypocrisy.
family arrived here.
And if they came under the Homestead Act, they were given acreage and money to come here.
But then if you talk about principles, the man is married to an immigrant.
But
His
And
vice
he-
president
and he
is
let- and
also
he let her
married to
parents
an
come
immigrant.
over.
so
They're not running
so,
them out of the country.
So
He let her parents come over.
Right. He let their families roll.
He let all the South Africaners come over, and then we
If you-
paid for them. We
if
gave
you
them
had- if
housing.
you had
we
the
gave them
$10,000,
food, we
you
gave
could
them
come over
furniture.
here.
We legit.
so
Yeah.
so
do you see
so
the- do you
let's
see the
talk
power
about the South Africans for a minute, Adam. All right. First of all, I'm opposed to them too.
Okay, so you should be opposed to Donald Trump's immigration policy because he's blocking
No.
legal immigrants who are standing in court, literally about
No.
to be signed over their green cards, and then removing them from the country while paying
So,
for a bunch of white people to come here who have money, who have resources, and
so the
have
Biden administration was paying for everybody else.
Biden ain't the coach right now.
My
He ain't the
state
coach
paid
now.
$3 billion.
So why'd you
Like-
vote for the guys doing the same thing?
Right.
So this is the thing. Again, I don't like the immigration. He stood up against it. He did something that I disagree with.
He has the lowest
Right.
deportations of the last 5 presidents.
He's just making noise. He's not
He's
actually
just
like
detaining
making
people.
progress.
He's detaining people and making the private prison industry billions.
So real quick
We-
though.
We are now paying for these immigrants to stay in facilities at the tune of thousands of dollars a day
How many
instead of
people got
allowing them to
deported
go
under Trump
work
so far?
and pay
many
taxes
people
and
got
buy
deported under
houses
Trump
and
so
buy
far?
cars and put money into the system. We are locking them up and using tax dollars to feed and house them indefinitely. And so how is that better for the country? Because that's all
many
he's
people
doing.
have-
He's detaining them.
So I think real
How
quick,
many
Mark.
people have been deported?
I can look it up.
Man, you say it's the lowest amount. What's the stat? I can guarantee you it's around 2.8 million people in 1 year, give or take.
600,000 actually.
So real quick, would it be fair to say that you were like were you like a one issue voter? Because I was a one issue voter. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, that's for sure.
So would it be fair to say that, Mark? I was one issue. My issue was Gaza.
Yeah,
I couldn't vote for either.
that's why I didn't vote.
Yeah, but would it be fair for
So
you to say?
for a couple of years, for a few years, I was so anti-politics.
Mhm.
I literally voted for Minnie Mouse. Right, you're right in a can.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Okay.
60.
But at the end of the day,
We're
we
paying
are
$14
not
billion
going to
a year to
change our
change.
government if we don't vote. Right? If people don't vote, nothing's going to change.
So
Right?
okay, and I feel you on that. I just think that I've come to a point. I used to believe that too, right? Like I used to think like voting is going to change everything, but now I'm come to a point where I'm like, I feel like the party, the two party system that we have going on right now is just that it's an oligarchy. So really, we're
100%.
voting. Our votes just go to the rich. So to me, I feel like our votes. There's a what's it called? They make it seem like they matter. They got the facade that all this stuff matters, but really, I feel like that the rich. There's two parties: working class, and then there's the rich. That's what I feel like the two parties are. The Democrats and the Republicans are just an illusion. You know what I mean? Of choice, but it's not a true choice. That's kind of where I'm at these days.
Agreed. I mean, I think
You got
the
5
way to
people on each
solve
side
that
to give a shit.
problem.
So I'm not disagreeing with you,
one way
Mark.
I do know one way to solve the problem: start electing more women. Because last time I checked, there ain't no women in the Epstein files.
Well, except for the victims.
Oh,
Nah, Mark
there's
don't like that.
thousands of them. There's thousands
we
of
start
women
electing
in there,
more women.
unfortunately.
Well, let me ask you
We
this,
start
Mark.
I
electing
don't
more
disagree
women,
with
we'll have
it.
a lot better.
Let me ask
We'll
you
have a
this,
lot
Mark.
better.
Go ahead. Mark, can I ask you this? Because I ask the girls the same thing. So like, does his moral character, or does his character come into play at any point in your support of him? I mean, like I hear you guys say, well, I don't agree with that and I don't agree with that, because I mean, yeah, it's straight up racist stuff. A lot of the stuff he says is bogus. So like, I mean, really, can you get behind a guy that you have to pick and choose what things he says that you can even agree with? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like let me put it to you like this. Let me just feed. Hold on 1 second. Let me just feed off a podcast a couple of episodes ago. We had it about Somalia, and he said some really, really, really terrible things about the Somalian people. And then you go jump behind him. Am I not supposed to think that you're of the same mindset and everything else? Like with you standing behind him as he's saying this stuff? Do you not think that image is portrayed?
I don't disagree that image is portrayed, but I think the problem is that a lot of the left says if you vote for Trump, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're Islamophobe, you're a xenophobe.
Because
you're
he
this,
just said some racist stuff and you went and stood behind him. That's why I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Wait.
You.
Right?
So
Go ahead,
if
Mark.
you vote for somebody, that doesn't mean you are them. That you are.
No, but if you continue to support them after you vote for them and they show you who they are, it's not the fact that you voted for him. You go back to 2016 and you vote for Trump. I can't blame you for that because I didn't vote for Hillary. So I'm like, all right, cool. You vote Trump 2016, but it's 2025. He's shown you who he is. He's done everything he can to show you who he is. And if you're still supporting him, then that means at this point you do support the transphobia, you do support the racism, you do support everything else he does because you're still supporting him.
So when I voted for Obama the first time and against Obama the second time, what does that mean?
That's you changing course because you were shown his character and you changed your course on his character. So you just showed what could be possible with Trump that you haven't done yet. And so, if anything, you're just making our point for us.
Yeah, like you might have
You
thought
voted for
Plus,
Romney was
Obama's
a better
appointment.
changed
representative.
your
Obama's
ideas,
opponent wasn't a racist.
and
Right.
and that part.
Romney wasn't racist. He was a gun guy.
Yeah, Mitt Romney was a Republican. I didn't support him, but he wasn't a racist. He wasn't a xenophobe. He wasn't out there bashing the gay people.
Actually,
He wasn't
no,
blaming
Romney,
trans for
you're
all
right.
of the school shootings. Like,
Well, let me apologize because I asked you that question just because of the way you were answering the Epstein thing. And so I apologize. I would like to get back. Thanks, Mark, because you made a point to me that I don't give Trumpers a pass. Like, we're past that. But I understand the thought of lesser of two evils. And if you were comparing Kamala strictly to Joe Biden 1-to-1, I get it, because I didn't like Joe Biden either. But I don't vote for anyone who takes money from another country. So all of them were out for me, except for the independents. So anyways, I apologize. I understand your point. We can jump back over to the Epstein, because you did make some really solid points.
So let's go back to Epstein, right? Fair question, was it?
Jesus.
Jesus, sorry. If all these people are listed, why is nobody releasing the file? Right?
who's in
Good
charge?
question.
Left
That's a
and
good
right.
question.
Nobody's releasing it.
I
Because
think
who's
both.
in
I think
charge?
you're right, Mark. I think you're right, Mark. Both
Yeah.
sides
So-
are involved. When you
so there-
run a blackmail ring, first off, when you own both sides of the party with your campaign money, I'm just straight up talking Israel.
Yeah.
And the guy who happens to be last name Epstein, right? There's a direct connection of
He's
like,
a Mossad
yeah,
agent.
this dude might be tied up to these guys, considering that the prime minister spent years living with this guy. So it's not like an, oh my gosh, you're a conspiracy theorist, or oh my gosh, you're anti-Semitic because you actually called a Jewish guy, and because he hangs out with Israeli government officials, you might associate him with Israelis, and those people happen to own our politicians with their funding. And that's not a knock on them. They're doing what's in their best interest. It's in their best interest to bribe our politicians. We should be mad that our politicians take the money. So we sit here and we argue Democrat versus Republican, when really that's just a circus. And so they're both being screwed over by this Epstein thing. And they're saying, if I throw out my big card of Donald Trump's in there, somebody's going to come back and say, oh, Obama was in there, or, oh, Clinton is in there. And my point is, most people don't give a crap who's in there. Every person, I don't care if Michael Jordan is in there. I will take all my Jordan stuff and throw it away because I'm not supporting a pedophile. I don't care. It's not if Trump is in there. Oh, but what about the liberals? I don't care who's in there. All of them need to be locked up. But I think you're right. Both sides are holding this against each other because Democrats had the files for years. The whole Biden administration, they had them. They couldn't
The
release them.
files were sealed under grand jury testimony until 2024.
Actually, that's false.
They
Actually, that's
100% were sealed.
Actually, that's false.
And that's why Donald Trump ran his campaign on, once they're unsealed, I will release them because the Democrats won't. And then he turned around and he was like, oh, we don't have the files. They don't exist. And then he said, oh, they're a Democrat hoax. They just made the files. And then all the Democrats are in them. And then there's and it was just a back and forth. Who gave him the sweetheart deal in Florida?
That was destroying, right? That right there told us everything we needed to know when he himself started to call it a hoax. And then here it is.
That's
And
what I
guess
said
what we
about
have?
that
We have
podcast.
actual files.
So
So
Alexandra
the
Acosta,
man, right? So when we question this man's character, these are the kind of things we are saying, man, how could you still support the dude? He's literally trying to protect pedophilia. Because
especially when Bill Clinton came
he
out and
lied
said
to us.
release the damn files. Like, it's at
That's
this
the hard
point
part.
that at this point I can't even be like, oh, the Democrats don't want them released. They voted every time to release them. The major character in it, who is Bill Clinton, has come out and said release them. They were not acting president when Epstein was murdered. The attorney general right now was working in Florida with Alexander Acosta when Epstein got his sweetheart deal and was completely, basically released. And right now, Maxwell is asking federal judges to vacate her convictions.
I mean,
And Mark, real quick, Mark, I just want you to know, like, so, like, with your question, I think what's going to surprise you is we kind of agree. Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
we totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree with Mark on this point.
Me too.
100%
I'm like, hey, they had the files. These could have been released, but they weren't. Mark, I think that's a solid point, and we agree with you on that, brother.
Even some leaks. Like,
I disagree with Adam a little bit. Like, he said the judges were preventing files from being released, right? Here's the problem. And this is why I disagree with that. That's BS. The Department of Justice knows exactly what was said. They had all that information, right? So, as the Department of Justice, if they had actionable evidence, they would have done something. But they didn't. Why didn't they?
So in 2024, when the New York judge announced that the files will be unsealed, what was that?
No, but I think
So-
his greater point is, if it's a conspiracy, it doesn't all of a sudden get to the justice and they're like, oh, we're really on the up and up here. I think his point is everybody's in on it.
I
There's
100% agree
probably
that
justices are
everybody
part of that file.
the cover up has been happening for years.
Right.
But what I
think Mark
mean
is
is,
getting to
at
that.
the end of the day, one thing the Democrats try to do and end up fucking themselves over constantly with is by adhering to decorum, by adhering to laws. They
Well,
don't want to do this because they say it's unconstitutional.
gave some BS.
You had the
with
Supreme
the
Court
and
tell Biden
tried-
that he can't forgive student loans, but then told Donald Trump he can dismantle the entire Department of Education. There's
Well,
definitely
that's not
one
the bad
side
thing.
that is trying
think-
to follow the rules, and one side that doesn't give a shit about the rules.
That's
And
like
with
a
the
whole nother
documents being
podcast.
sealed, I 100% agree that if documents are sealed, the president shouldn't be allowed to just unilaterally unseal them. We have a judicial system for a reason,
But to
and a lot of
request
the
by
reason
Trump
why these
to
people
release
get
them
away
was
with this shit is
denied.
because files are released, because things are leaked, and then mistrials happen, and then the fucking predator gets away.
And
Whoever's dead.
I also
He
think
got-
too that the Department of Justice was a lot more independent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They weren't the lapdogs of Biden. If
Right,
Biden
so-
was like, "Hey,
exactly.
go do this,"
Oh well,
they're like,
we'll
I know you're not
disagree
going to
on
agree
that
with me,
part.
Mark. I know you're not going to agree with me on that, Mark. I already know, man. But I do believe that. I do believe that the DOJ wasn't, it acted independently like it was supposed to. So you know what I mean? More.
and that's what
Well,
I mean. Is they don't
I think
always follow
personally-
all the rules, but Democrats try to follow decorum. They do their best, because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, that is their last leg to stand on, where they're like,
That's their
"Oh, well, at
only
least
leg
we
to
follow the
stand on.
rules." You know
But
what
I
I mean?
think
They don't
personally,
support progressive values like they're supposed to. They don't listen to their constituents like they're supposed to, but they usually follow the law. And so that's
Yeah,
like the
but
last
this is
leg
something
they really
deeper.
have.
This is something deeper. What I think, and Jesus will probably know what I'm talking about. When you're dealing with government, it's kind of similar to the military. Everything's on a need to know basis.
Oh, 100.
So you'll be in a room with 10 people and only 2 people need to know in that room. You know what I'm saying? But there's still, all 10 people are still intermingling. So like if you're trying to cover something up, you got some people in the room that have access to certain information, and some people that don't, and it's hard to do a cover up when everybody's not on board. And that's how it's done in the military and in the government. You only know what you need to know. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know what I mean? So like if you got 10 people and I'm only telling 2 people the real truth, how can I cover it? How can I have all 10 people help me cover it up if only 2 people, really know what I'm on? And I think that's the problem they're having, because this runs so deep. Like you guys said, you're all over it. It's bigger than Biden. It's bigger than Trump. It's somebody way up here. And I mean, you might be onto it with the Israel thing, somebody that funds both parties. It has to do, once again, you bring the money aspect into it. There's a
Well,
lot of
actually,
money flowing through this.
yeah, that actually, I was actually gonna come back to that because I want to hear more on that, Jesus. You know
Well,
what you're.
I mean, if you think about it, and this now, if you had a banner that said, "All right, conspiracy theory alert," now would be the time. But hear me out.
Hey, spin that up, Charlo.
Right. So hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
And we could come back to this later and go, "Oh man, he was wrong." But this is what I think. So some files got released. Donald Trump clearly got upset. Got mad at Marjorie Taylor Greene, whatever. Another nation who has a hand in our government pays a visit to Mar-a-Lago. All of a sudden, the Epstein stuff slows down,
And we're at war with Venezuela.
and now we're at war with Venezuela.
Yeah.
And the very person that they want, the female that they want to put in power there, the
Is
first order of
pro-Israel.
business is to move the embassy to Israel.
Yep.
This is kind of a strange thing. It's more than a coincidence, but it goes, hey man, if somebody said, I'm about to give you a country, is the very first thing you're going to do is not thank the country that just gave you power over a country. Instead, you're going to appease another country altogether. So I don't think that visit was
with
just
that.
you do agree or you
I
don't?
kind of disagree with that because her.
Oh, you
actual
totally can't. That's why I said
statement was-
conspiracy a third. Because you guys could totally say, nah, that's trash.
No, she said she agrees with the move to Jerusalem. That Trump.
Why is that a thing? We were told this is a
But-
drug problem. Why is that a thing?
Why
is
does
that even a
Venezuela give
topic?
a fuck where their
She
embassy
said what
is?
she said, but listen, we're talking about a couple of different things here.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
so that's one. Two, Trump isn't pushing her. He says she doesn't have the backing.
That's
He
'cause he's
wants the
misogynist.
person- He wants the person who is duly elected, which is not her. She's just an opposition party. He wants the person who was duly elected to be president, which I agree with, because it was a vote. The dude won. He's the president.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Pause. So the guy who, when he wins in America, the elections were good. When he loses, the elections were bad. Somehow we're trusting his words on if an election was good or bad in another country of which he started an illegal war. I'm just trying to make sure we're
Okay, what war
following
did he
the steps
start?
of the principle here.
What war did he start?
With
What war
Venezuela?
did he start?
You don't think he
Yeah.
started this war in Venezuela?
No.
Who
It's
did?
not a
Hold
war.
on. Who
It's a
did?
military action, just like Obama when Obama killed an American in Syria.
Wait. Mark,
Who's in
Wait,
charge?
No. See,
Mark.
you're
Yeah,
doing.
Calm
You're
that
down,
was
doing.
Mark.
Obama attacking
You're
Syria.
literally doing what Trumpers do. Who's in charge of the military? It's one name. Give me a name. Who's in charge of the military?
Trump.
Who
So if
ordered
they
But
the
it's
did that,
attack?
not a war.
So
Who
you're
ordered
telling
the
me
attack?
when you go strike another country,
Trump ordered
And
the
You
attack.
kidnap
kidnapped
their
the president and first
Kidnap their
lady. You
president.
don't think you're going to war? You for real, Mark?
Okay, Mark, check it out, Mark.
the gaslighting is.
Mark,
I understand
if China came over here right now and bombed DC and took Trump and Melania, would we be at war with fucking China?
So
No.
would you be like, nah, that's
so-
all good?
But,
You
okay.
serious, Mark?
Wait. In all fairness, I kind of get what Mark was trying to say. Mark, hold on real quick. Hear me out.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
do
want to
agree.
hear this.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
listening,
think-
bro.
Okay. I don't think it was right when Barack did it, because Barack did do it, man. When he
No, we're not going to do that though.
No,
That's
wait, hold
bogus.
on. Let me finish though. It wasn't right then, but this is a problem that I have with when it comes to the Trumpers when they talk about when they bring it up though, because I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with the Syria. I don't agree with the Iraq in 2014. I don't agree with the drones. I don't agree with none of that. You know what I mean? And it was all
Panama
wrong
was
then,
the
and it's
same
wrong now.
situation.
But it's still wrong now. That's my point. Like it was wrong then, and it's wrong
And it
now.
was wrong to bomb Iran, and it
Yeah.
was wrong to bomb Somalia, and it was wrong to bomb Yemen,
Yeah.
and it was
It was-
wrong to
It was
continue
wrong
to
to go
support
into Iraq
Israel.
after 9/11.
It's just because they did it doesn't make it right. Like I don't agree with that either. So I don't agree with Trump either for doing it.
So the courts saying it was legal for everyone else to do it.
Well, we haven't had the court yet
Because
for
all
Trump.
the courts agreed on Panama. They agreed on Syria. All the courts have said
Mark,
it
are you
was a
saying this was
legal
not
thing.
an act of war? Is that your
Right,
stance?
Mark.
This
That's
wasn't
what
an
I'm
act of
saying.
war.
Military
That's what you
strikes
said.
and acts of war are two different things,
To
brother.
be fair, this is
When
just
you go
Exactly. A
kidnap,
military strike is
when you go
not an
take
act of
the
war.
president and
to,
when
to
you
be
take
fair
the
to Mark.
president of a country and bring him to your country,
To be
that's an
fair
act
to
of
Mark,
war.
this isn't not technically a
So
war.
who
This
went
is an
after
illegal
Gaddafi?
aggression. Because
Who went after Gaddafi?
to his credit, we have not declared war because President Trump doesn't have that authority.
This
But
is
President Trump 100% just attacked another country, and it will start a war. And so
this is
you're
Trump 101.
being
As soon as you
pedantic
bring,
about the
as soon
words,
as
and
you
you're
point
dancing
out,
around who's responsible for it, as if like, oh, well, there's no declaration of war, so Trump's not to blame. Trump still attacked another country.
He's been
Oh,
attacking him though.
absolutely, he did.
Right, but he's been
And
attacked. This
I
is.
support what he has done in Venezuela.
why?
But why?
Why?
Okay, real quick. Let me ask you a question. You're gonna say
Because he's
fentanyl, right?
stopping the drugs from coming
Wait,
over.
wait. How much
No,
fentanyl comes
no.
from Venezuela, Mark?
Are you cool with him pardoning Hugo, the other
Right.
guy?
You
Was that a
see the
good?
principle there, Mark? You can't go and say this country is bad because they sell drugs and then pardon a guy who literally is a drug dealer.
Wait, stop.
Okay.
When did I bring up drugs? When did I bring up drugs?
Okay, so what's your
No,
All
I
right.
asked the question. I just
Why
asked
do you
the
support
question.
it?
Was it?
Why do you support it?
So when Chavez and him took American assets, American citizens and their assets, that makes them a foreign enemy.
It was
So-
their oil, though.
Attack
So
Americans.
removing American companies from their country makes them an enemy to us?
Who were taking their resources?
No.
That's
No.
their resources. That's their oil. They paid some oil companies went down there and paid to pull some oil, correct? And then the government rescinded those contracts and told them to get the fuck out their country because it's their oil. We,
Okay,
as a nation,
so
have no right
why
to
did
go
the
down there and
country
demand that they
seize
give back
all the
anything to an
assets
American
of
company.
those companies?
Wait,
Those companies went down there under contract. They built facilities. And the country said, "We're taking all of your assets, all of your everything, and we're kicking you out."
Check it out, Mark. Check it out. Mark, your issue with Biden and immigration is that he allowed too many people.
No.
Hold on.
No,
I
let's get
promise
back to
this will
oil.
make sense. I promise this will make sense. The argument right now is that there's a bunch of immigrants in our country, and leftists say, well, they're here legally, and a lot of Republicans say, well, Biden allowed in too many, and so we need to restructure that, and we need to rescind all of those contracts that we have signed with these people, and granting them asylum, and granting them temporary status of stay, because we have decided as a new administration that those contracts are no longer void. You support that, but you don't support when they say the same thing to oil companies?
Okay. So
That's checkmate, man. Just go ahead and say it's checkmate. It's all good. You ain't even got to respond.
Oh,
Let's
that
just
was
move
a
back
good
to
point, though.
Epstein.
That was a good point, man.
It was a
I can't
good
lie.
point. That's a slam
it is a
dunk. It's
good
over.
point. It is a good point.
That's Otani. It's
However-
out the park.
However, you are talking about asylum and TPS, correct?
Yeah. These are contracts
Okay.
that we signed with immigrants, and we allowed them in under one government, and then the next government said we don't want to adhere to those contracts, and so should Trump be allowed to circumvent all of those and say, you know what, never mind, fuck your asylum claim. I don't care that you were granted temporary status under the last government. You have to get out now. And that's exactly the
Okay.
same thing that Venezuela did,
Okay.
except they are
So
actually protecting their own assets.
define for me what the word temporary is.
Who got a white flag? That mug should be waving right now.
Right? Temporary.
Define temporary.
temporary
not
protected
forever,
status. Temporary
just for a little
protected
time.
status grants a person the ability to stay in the United States until their due process is complete and they have been found to be allowed to stay or found to be needed to be deported. And he is going through and he is removing that protection and saying, no, you don't
So
get
one
to stay at
president
all.
says you can have it, and
You
one
just need to be
president says
detained.
you can't.
And so if Venezuela does the same thing and says, hey, I know you signed contracts with the last president, but I have decided as president of my country to retake my oil fields, the United States government does not have the authority to go down there and be like, hey, you have to let these guys take your oil. You have to. And I mean, we've been doing that.
I think our government would do the same thing. Like if
nobody's saying that. I don't think anybody is saying that this government did this, so we have the authority to do that.
That's literally what Trump
literally
said.
what you said.
And that's what Trump's saying. They stole our oil. They stole our oil. They took our stuff.
When a country seizes our assets and kills American citizens, then
did they go into the oil
that's a
business
cute
and
dog.
kill them?
Let me see the puppy. Come on, let me see the puppy.
Did they kill?
Oh, that's a cute puppy.
Oh my God.
So,
who did they kill? I'm lost here. Who did they kill? They said you got to pack up your oil, and they killed all the oil execs.
We've killed like 200 of their citizens this year, but who is Venezuelan and which American citizens did Venezuela kill?
That's the part I'm missing out.
When FARC took control, they have been kidnapping and killing American citizens left and right.
From where?
Up FARC. Look up FARC and what they do.
Look up who? I'm sorry.
FARC, F-A-R-C.
Get down, bro. Chill out. Stop.
They are a terrorist organization.
Oh man, miss me with that. That word don't even mean anything anymore in America.
Because you got to think. Hold on, real quick, Mark. Okay, so we throw around that term terrorist organization, right? But if you really think about it, I mean, how is that any different than what America does to other countries?
Well,
there is zero evidence.
They kidnap and kill their own people.
But we do that too. America does that too. We're doing it right now with Venezuela.
Yeah, we've been killing them.
No.
For funsies, we blow up their boats.
FARC is kidnapping and killing their own people.
But we're missiling boats. We're missiling boats, dude. Like we're killing their people. We're just, how's that any different than
America is kidnapping and killing black people every single day?